up, everyone? Aaron here with North Alabama Disc Golf. First video for the new channel on YouTube, and this is the Alabama Disc Golf Championship 2014, the 7th edition of the tournament, round 2 coverage. It's always one of the top A tiers in the Southeast each year, and there's always a great turnout of AMs and pros. Before we start, got to thank video sponsor Halo Disc Sports. Halo is an awesome disc retailer, a huge selection of plastic. They sponsor a lot of the top pros in the South, like Will Schusterick, Matt Dollar, Kevin Bates, and a lot of other people who don't go so far nationally, but just tour regionally. So now, let's get to the round 2 coverage. Start out hole 1. There's OB right with the creek, OB left, and the basket's nestled up against the woods. Matt Orum cuts it off just a little bit, snags one of the early trees. He should have an easy up for a 3. Logan Bowers opting for the forehand, but he cuts it off just a little bit. It lands right on the OB line, and I think he was just out. Dutch Napier throwing tomahawk, takes a bad bounce. Will Schusterick's throw really gets out of his hand a little late, but luckily it didn't hit the creek, bounced back inbounds. Cam's throw is really, really good. That's exactly how you want to do it. He's the only one with a clean drive. Everybody else except for Cam is just pitching up, looking to get their par, move on to hole 2. Logan Bowers for his par save, just high left. Matt Orum can't get his par either. He'll take a 4. Dutch gets his circle 3. And Logan gets it in, but that's a rough start. Everybody's going to tap out. Go on to hole 2. And a slow start for everyone except Cam. That's one of the more birdieable holes in the course. Got some 3s, 5s, and 4s. Here's a look at the basket of hole 2. It's just an Anheuser shot or a flick shot. Looks like Cam's going with the flick. Stays clean. Gonna have about a 40-footer. Dutch taking a turnover shot, backhand, but comes up a little short. Will following the same. But he puts a little bit more on it. He's going to be a little bit closer than Dutch. Matt Orum taking the same line. And a similar result, it looks like. A little closer to the out of bounds, but he's clean. And Logan's such a natural forehand thrower, that's his first option. He's going to have a putt with everyone else. Dutch is the furthest, but he bands out. Orum Colglazier makes a huge birdie putt from more than about 40 feet out on the elevated basket. Matt Orum's got the same putt. And he too hits a huge putt. Great deuces. Logan Bowers with a similar distance. Just a little bit low, but it was a good line. Will cleans up his 25-footer. And finally, a few more deuces on the card. Back to hole 3, right behind him. And it is one of the tougher holes on the course. Very technical. You gotta pitch up just like Cam is doing here. Land in a certain spot and throw across a creek. Cam's shot was good. Will's shot is good too. Hits right down the fairway. And he is going to be looking across the creek at the basket. Matteo's drive looks just about the same as theirs. He's in a good spot. Dutch let go a little bit early. He grabbed a tree in the fairway, so he's going to have a longer look. And Logan plays it really close. He might have gone out of bounds there. There's that creek that you can't cross. Dutch gets his forehand across, but he's not going to have a putt. Now you can see the basket where these guys are trying to throw. Cam doesn't quite make it, makes it a little bit too skinny. Doesn't cross the creek, but he is safe. Logan's upshot looks good, but that was out of bounds, so he was throwing 3. Beautiful turnover from Matteo. He's going to be putting for 3. Will with the cleanest look of everyone. Puts it right up there, bounces it off the cement. He's going to have a drop in for 3. As you can see, Cam got a little bit lucky there. He could have gone in that creek, but he stayed clean. Dutch is in jail, but he's going to have a look to get out of it. Pitches out. He's going to be putting for a 4. Logan putting for 4. Oh, that got a lot of chains, just a little bit high and left and snuck out. Matt converts. Dutch cleans it up. And so will Cam. And Will for their 3s. Oh, sorry. Cam got a 4. On to hole 4. And this basket is across a long fairway, 500 feet. But the hard part is you're teeing off, as you can see here, from behind a group of clump trees. So you've got to get clean on your drive, and you've got to get it as far as you can. Will opting for a roller. And apparently he got a bad bounce, but he is down the fairway. Matteo taking an air shot, Anheuser turnover. Doesn't flex out, but he's out there. Cam does the same thing, but booms it, puts it way up in the air. He's going to be way far out there. Dutch going for a roller too. His is a little bit cleaner than Will's, though. Takes a really good line, rolls straight towards the basket. Logan taking the Anheuser flex shot as well. Everyone's clean, so that's a good start to hole 4. Logan leaves it a little shorter than he'd want. We have Dutch putting from about 100. He's up there. Matt's just pitching it up. Take his 3. Now you can see where Will is. He's almost pin high. Just way out to the left. He's going to be putting for a 3 with a drop in. Now you can see how close Cam got. He does have the distance to run at this. Hangs it out a little left. Easy 3. Logan can't make his par. He'll be taking a 4. Everyone's cleaning it up. Next, we're going to hole 5, which is one of the must-have birdies on this course, especially if you're playing open. It's just a flick shot. For anyone that can have a flick, you can throw backhand too, but it's only 220, and you just got to get clean. It's exactly what Will does. He puts it right in the hole. He's going to have it right next to the basket. Matt hangs it out a little wide. He's going to have a long putt uphill, about 40 plus. Cam's forehand takes an awful bounce and rolls away from the basket. He's going to be about the same as Matt. Dutch looks like he's right there. He caught a tree, dropped him down, probably inside the circle. Logan looks like he's right there. Great flick thrower. Matt with a great birdie bid, just right of the pin though. Logan's a little farther than he looked. He must have had a bad roll. Grabs a tree. He'll take his par. Cam can't make his birdie. Dutch is right there. Easy two. And Will gets the CTP for this one. Him and Dutch both walk away with their twos. Matteo cleans it up for his three. Same from Logan and Cam. Moving on to hole 6. It is a large Anheuser shot. It says 385 there, but that's the wrong sign. For hole 6, this is the farther basket. This is a 450-foot Anheuser shot. And you can see the tee back here in the woods, so you have to throw it out and put it over to the right with OB on the right side. Will really throws his way too far to the right. He might have thrown the right shot, but he missed his line completely. He threw straight out of bounds. Dutch takes the line you're more looking to try to go for, but it fades out early, so he'll be pin high about 100 to the left. Matteo gets a good pull out there. His two, though, fades out just a little bit early, and he's going to have a long putt for two. Cam absolutely puts a great throw out there for this one. He's inside the circle from 450 foot out on a straight Anheuser line. Logan is looking flick. He puts a good throw out there, but I don't think it quite got the distance, so he's going to have a long look for two as well. Will's out of bounds throw. He gets it up there, but that'll be a tester. That's Dutch's up shot. He just threw it in the circle. He's going to take his three. Matt gives it a run, but just a little short. Cam with a great deuce on this 450-foot basket that's snuggled right up against out of bounds. Really difficult too. Sorry, Cam. Will makes a great bogey save there. Dutch drops in for his three. Same with Logan and Matt. Hole number 7. This basket, too, is snuggled into out of bounds on the right side with a sidewalk and roped in on the left side. It's a 370-foot hyzer shot. Cam skips just a little far past, but he's still in the circle. Dutch puts out a good-looking throw. He's right there, under the basket. Oh, Matt skips right off the pavement into out of bounds. That's one of the dangers of playing the hyzer shot there. Logan again opting for a forehand. It works out really, really well. He's parked just up there with Dutch. Will skips off the pavement and slaps the band, almost goes in 2 inches lower, and that would have been an ace. He'll have a drop in for 2. Matt's out of bounds putt for 3, misses. He's going to put in for a 4. Cam gets his deuce, and Logan and Dutch and Will are all going to get their deuces too. So this whole tournament so far, Matt's been smoking everyone, but right there, the entire lead card picks up 2 strokes on him, and we're on to hole 8. It's a skip shot playing 220, but your disc has to travel a little farther than that. Cam did a good job of playing that skip. Dutch gets the only tree in the fairway. He's going to have a long up shot. Logan goes inside of it. Really close. Will calls for an ace there, but it was a little short. Will throwing out his purple D1. He's going to have a good look at a bird too. Matteo throws a perfect shot. Rides the skip right up next to the basket. Dutch almost puts in from about 120 out. Will comes up just a little short. Short-armed it just a little bit. Bangs it off the cage. Same for Cam. Great deuce for Matt. While this is a short hole, it is not the easiest deuce because it's quite technical. There's creek right past the basket, and there's out of bounds on the left side. So if you throw your shot at all with too much power or on the wrong line, you're looking at a bogey. Dutch checking out the cam there. Super nice guy. He knew the camera was on him. On to basket 9. Another extremely difficult hole, 565, extremely skinny towards the basket, up around that row of trees. Logan puts out a good hyzer shot. Couldn't see it finish, but he's up against the road. Might have gone out of bounds. Matt's right there in the middle of the fairway, exactly where you want to be. Cam does the exact same thing. Perfect spot. Dutch going for a different line, a more controlled, straight shot, and he absolutely nails it. He's right there with those guys. And we all know Will's going for the large power hyzer too. Wow, and he cut off a lot more of the fairway than the other guys did. He's probably 30 or 40 ahead of them. Logan's up shot, skips right up to the basket, but the basket is on a hill. So this is one of the hardest baskets on the course to approach. And right there you see Dutch got some bad luck. He wanted it to fight over that curb, but that's why it's one of the hardest ones to approach. Creek on the left, Obi Road on the right. Cam looks like he went into the creek. There's Cam's lie. And they gave him this one without going out of bounds because it was not entirely surrounded, but going to pan up here. You can see where he landed on the basket. Will's putt for a 3, chains out left. Good look at Cam's positioning. Just a little short, but he's going to be taking a 3. Logan hits the band, but he does grab that plastic backboard there, and that prevents a roll down the hill. Matteo takes his 3. Really good 3. Everybody else gonna clean him up. Dutch takes his 4. Will's got a 4, so does Cam. On to hole 10. This basket is snuggled right up against out of bounds in the creek as well. 433 foot. With OB all along the left, the back, and the right side. Looks like Matt's came up a little short and left, but he'll have a long look. Logan knew immediately when he threw this one, it came out of his hand, that it was in trouble, and it skips right out of bounds. Body language from Cam saying the exact same thing. But Cam catches a lucky, extremely lucky break. The bounce off that hill wasn't too bad, and he is just slightly in bounds. Will takes a huge hyzer shot. He ends up about pin high, 30 feet to the right of the basket. Dutch, as he's been doing, takes more of a straight line. Puts a really solid throw out there. He's at the edge of the circle. Logan's bid for a 3 just off the cage. Really good putt, just a little low. You can see how close Cam was to out of bounds. But he sails it a little long, but he's safe. He didn't throw it in the creek. Matt's bid for a 2, just a little low. Dutch gets his deuce, and if there's one thing I learned about Dutch this weekend, Dutch can putt. This guy can putt pretty well too. Will converts on his 2, both of them from the edge of the circle. Cam pitches in for his 3. Logan took the out of bounds stroke. Matt takes a 3. On to hole 11, 505. With more OB left and right and behind. It's just a clean, open 500-foot shot. You can see the hole there all the way back to the basket here. But with everything else on this course, you have to place your drives as best you can.
Out of it. Come out.
Dutch yelling for it to come out. It does. He's down the fairway. He's going to have a pretty easy up for his 3. Will challenges the OB, and he does not get a favorable skip. So he's going to be out of bounds about 100 feet away from the basket. Matt puts himself down there, middle of the fairway. Exactly what you want to do. Looks like Cam's trying to do the exact same thing. Cam challenges the out of bounds, but he gets a huge skip off the road, which is what a lot of players do, and it worked out perfectly for him. Looks like Logan is playing a little bit more of a flex shot, but just a little bit too far to the left. He snuck out of bounds on the left side. Will's up shot is up there. He'll have a pretty close putt for a 3, or a 4, sorry. Matt, same thing. Dutch putting a long run at it. Right off the cage. Here's Logan's out of bounds throw. Right off the band. These guys are all over it from 100 feet away. Cam just a little short. That is one of the hardest 2s on the course. He almost had it. Will puts in for his bogey. Matt for a 3. Logan will have a 4. Cam and Dutch 3s. On to the next hole, 12. You can see the basket there between the 2 red flags. That is a double mando. And the basket is on a little hill. So anything that misses or bounces off can roll away. Everyone's pretty much throwing straight at it with putters.
God.
Will lets that one get away from him. Blows it way right outside of the Mando, and he's going to have to go to the drop zone. Logan puts a nice controlled flick out there. Everyone except Will is putting for deuce. Off the band for Dutch. Not a great roll, but it could have been worse. Matt from about the same distance. Off the cage, but he did not get a roll. So something to be thankful for. Cam gets his too. Logan's birdie bid just right. Flops off the cage, but he hits the comebacker. On to hole 13. Island hole, and it is only about 250 out, but the island is small, and it is on a hill. Cam puts it just inside. Matt taking the forehand too. Almost an identical throw to Cam's. They'll be putting for deuce. Dutch taking the backhand. And it gets so close to out of bounds, but he's going to be putting for the deuce as well. Will taking the backhand too. He too challenges the out of bounds, but everybody's out putting for deuce. A little short for Matt. See if Cam can convert. He does. Great putt from circle's edge. Same for Dutch. His was uphill too. Everyone's in onto the next hole. This is a 670-foot hole, and it winds around the road with OB left and right. But your first throw, right there like Cam's, just a bomb into a big open field. Don't have to worry about the out of bounds too much there. Just keep it in the middle of the field and you're good. Dutch is out there, up with Cam. Looks like Logan's taking the same kind of line as Dutch did. More of a flex shot. And he's out there. Will opting for a huge hyzer, and there's definitely room for it on this hole. He's a little more right than the other guys, but he may have had a little bit more distance. Matteo doing the same thing. Throws it a little flatter than Will, and he's a little farther right too. He'll be the farthest out. And there's a look at the basket. You got to throw over out of bounds and not go into the road that is right behind the basket. Looks like he's about 250 or 275 out. Great upshot from Matt Orum, and that's what it takes to beat this course. Upshots like this, beside the basket from 250 to 300 out. Dutch is up there too. Routine shots for these guys. Logan gets his out there. He's not quite as close as the other guys, but they're all in the circle, and they're all in bounds. Logan connects for his 3. It's about as good as you can do on that hole. 3 would be a birdie. Everybody gets a 3 onto the next. It's 485, tucked in the trees, a big hyzer shot. Cam absolutely rips this hyzer flip out there, and I don't know about other players, but the hyzer flips that Cam throw just look different than other players. They are incredible, and he is out there, absolutely ripped that frisbee. Dutch taking a little wider route, but he's safe. There is OB on the right, so you want to stay in the middle of the fairway, and it looks like Logan released a little bit early. He's going to have to pitch out from there. He's in the woods. Will taking a more aggressive line than the other players, and big high hyzer, and he is going to be in the woods down there, but not quite to the basket. Matteo puts out a huge drive too. They'll all be looking at an easy up shot to try and get their 3. Here's Logan. Pitches out, sidearm putter, and he's down there in the fairway, so he'll be looking about the same as Cam right there. Long putt, but Cam misses a little past, and that is a hill going down, so you have to be a little wary of that. Matt pitches it right through a hole in the trees. He's parked for his 3. Same with Will. Will crushed his drive, so he has an easy up. I think that went out of bounds for Logan, so that was his 4th shot right there. Dutch tried to sneak it through, couldn't make it, and Logan puts in for his 5. Cam for his 3. On a hole 16, 660 feet, throwing out of a little tunnel, and you got to hit a fairway and then keep it clean from out of bounds on the left and the right on your upshot. Cam puts out a huge hyzer shot. Will does the exact same. You see him waving. He wants it to fade out, and it does. They are both down there quite a ways. Matt takes a skinnier line, but it's out there too. Can't quite see where Dutch's throw was. There it is. It's in the fairway with everyone else's. Logan, again, having trouble right there. Just an early release. Pitches out from the woods. And from there, he'll have an open look, but it's a pretty long open look. See the basket up there against a creek. Long upshot from Logan. He actually absolutely crushes it. You hear him calling for it to go in the basket, but he's a little short. But that's about all you can do from where he left his drive and his roller out of the woods. A little short for Dutch, but he's putting. Cam trying to ride the wind, and he's up there. He's going to have a good look for a 3. Matteo absolutely parks it, and that is such a dangerous shot, but it stuck. It didn't skip. He knew exactly what he was doing, and Will's up there too. Dutch just left for his 3. Little high, little left. Logan's going to take another, I think, 4 or 5. Off the band. Will normally makes those. Dutch did stay in bounds there, but he dropped it a little low. Logan stops the bleeding, puts it in. Cam gets a great 3. So does Matteo. On hole 17, 650 feet, and as with most other baskets on this course, it is tucked right up against a creek, and you have to hit this gap right here. Right through those trees, putting it into the fairway. Cam's out there. If you don't make it through these trees, it's either, I think it's a re-tee, because you never would have been in bounds. It's out of bounds before the creek. You have to get through and on the other side. Pretty routine shot for these players. They're just throwing it right through, getting it out there so they can have a clean look for an up. Dutch a little high, but cuts right through. Logan taking a different route. He's trying to hit that gap right over there. He comes in a little early, but he sneaks through right through the trees. He's with everyone else. Cam throwing a big hyzer for an upshot. And that was really close, but it went right out of bounds behind the basket.
I'm right here too.
Logan swings it out, but he's a little short. He'll have a long look. Dutch is up there. That was a great shot. He made sure to play it a little wider to get clean of that creek. Will didn't seem to like that. Yeah, he's a little short. Matt puts it right up there. His upshots have been absolutely on point today. Logan almost gets it in. High chains left. Will really didn't like that putt. I think the high ceiling got to him a little bit. Dutch puts in from maybe beyond the circle's edge. Like I said earlier, Dutch can putt. Cam bounces off, and that was his out-of-bounds stroke. So he's going to take 5 on this hole. Matt puts in for a 3. Thought it might have bounced out on him. He looked a little worried there for a second, but it dropped in. Colglazier puts in for the 5. Last hole, 18, 770 feet. The creek all the way down the fairway is out of bounds. The fence to the left, out of bounds. So you have to put it in the middle of the fairway and then get it right up to that basket, which is tucked against more out of bounds. Matteo's drive is clean. Looks like Dutch's is going to be too. It's exactly what you want. Will puts out a huge hyzer, really high in the air, spikes it right in the middle of the fairway. Logan throws a little bit more of a flex, and it is near that creek, and he might have gone out of bounds there. Cam doing the same thing Will did, but man, he puts it up so high. These guys have such huge arms and gets the exact same result, middle of the fairway. Dutch puts a great upshot up there. He's going to be at the circle's edge. He'll have a look for a bird. Matteo does the exact same thing, but he puts it under the basket. Again, another impeccable upshot. Cam, great shot as well. These guys are so accurate from about 300 foot out like they are right now. Logan goes for the flick, but he turns it over a little much, throws it in the parking lot out of bounds. Last one up, Will Schusterick. And he puts it right next to the road, but he's in bounds, and he's going to have an inside the circle look. Dutch gets the last bird on the course. Great putt. That's not a great way to finish for Will. I know he's upset about that. Cam puts in for his 3. Logan puts in. It's a 4 for Will. And Matteo's going to come up and take his 3, which would be a bird on this hole. And that is the end of round 2. Matteo's absolutely tearing this course up, but Colglazier isn't far behind, and then Napier and Schusterick are right behind them too. We'll have round 3, final round coverage coming up, so stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching North Alabama Disc Golf.